Sean and Nina are having custody issues already. Plus, Heather lets Ella be Ella. We're going to talk about it coming up on this episode of Daytime Divas After Show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You can dance now.
I get why it's a bumblebee.
Yeah.
AFTERBUZZ.
Yeah.
Ooh, I am sharp today.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us. I'm Elle Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Elle Marie TV. And we have a very special guest with us today, Miss Fiona Gubelmann.
Gubelmann, yes, you
Gubelmann.
got it.
I was close.
I was going to give it to you.
Thank you.
I was like, Google.
Yeah,
I was thinking of Wizard
Google.
play for like a super second. Okay.
Right?
It's like gazoon type.
Yeah. But I got it out. That wasn't too bad. I didn't butcher it, at
It's
least. How are you tonight?
I'm very good. I'm excited to be here with you ladies.
Thank you. Tell everyone where they can find you on your Instagram and Twitter.
Very easy. It's at Fiona Gubelmann. FionaGubelmann.
Hey guys, I am Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and Love Chae Butt on Snapchat. Cause it's just fun.
Now, I do want to say, I think Heather's hair is beautiful, and sometimes we think maybe it's like a wig or something like that. Your hair is amazing.
Oh my
right,
gosh.
like in real life. It's just so full. I just had to say, I was like, oh, her hair is awesome, because I think Heather's hair is beautiful.
Oh,
but like I just
thank
said,
you
like
so
you don't
much.
know, like, if it's real or not. You know? So to see you in person, I just wanted to give you that compliment. I love your
thank
hair.
you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
People in the chat say hi.
Oh, hi everybody.
And yeah, so thank you for being here. I think this is a really good time for you to come, especially after like last week's episode and this week's episode. We have a lot of your character in both episodes. So last week we had to deal with Kibby being mad at you.
Yes.
About the
Drunk
whole-
Heather.
Right,
For
Julian
me, the
thing.
little millennial.
Heather the whore and everything. So it even started
She's
out this
actually
week.
not a whore though,
Yeah.
guys. Just to be clear.
That is technically true because she didn't really do anything yet.
Right,
not
she didn't do
S his
anything.
D.
Right, I was like, she did not suck his D.
The I love is like, how many blowies have you got done?
Yeah.
Like, your names or things are just awesome last week.
Heather has a very colorful way of saying things.
Yeah, when she was a something fudge something
Oh,
off or
yeah,
something.
go
I'm
fudge
like,
yourself.
Yeah.
Well, fudge yourself. Like that's like how you stop yourself from cussing.
Yeah.
I had to do that
That's
around
cute.
my friend because
Yeah.
like she's Episcopalian.
Oh, okay.
And
She
so,
doesn't curse.
so we had to I had to censor myself, so I had to find different ways to say cuss words in front of her that still were cuss words. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of
With your
fun.
mouth, you were coming up with a lot of words.
I came up with a lot, man. I came up with so many. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, Fiona, tell us about your kind of auditioning process for Daytime Divas and how'd you get the role?
I auditioned for it last June, and I went in and I was so excited about this part. I loved Heather. I loved the idea of playing this conservative Christian woman who also had a transgender daughter and the personal struggles that was going to be for her, and just getting she also just was so much fun for me. Like I just saw so much comedy in her, and so I went in and I was so excited that I just kept messing up. I was just stumbling all over the words left and right. And when I finished, the casting director was like, that was so great, and I was like, really? Okay. And they were like, no, like we got that, you get the essence of the character and who she is, and don't worry about the lines. And so then I went in a few days later because I was actually leaving town to go shoot a film for 6 weeks in Chicago. I came in a few days later at like 8 a.m. and I met all the producers and the creators, and I got the showrunners, and I got to meet with everyone, and then that was it. I didn't hear anything for like 2 months, and I figured, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then 2 months go by, I get back from Chicago, and I'm back on One Day at a Time because I also record on that. And I get a call on my way home from work one night. They're like, you booked the part. You're moving to Atlanta in 2 weeks. And I was like, what? Wait, well, okay. So, and that was
wow. Well, that's cool. Yeah. That's good you were so excited about the character.
I love Heather.
Yeah.
She's I think my favorite part I've ever gotten to play.
Yeah.
And,
I think when the show first opened, it was like, okay, you see everyone's like kind of role and who they're going to be. And at first it was like, kind of for me, it was like Heather seemed a little, just too conservative, too wrapped up into her family and everything like that. And then now as the show goes on, she opens up, and then like the layers have been revealed, and we know more about her character and, all her struggles and everything. And then she does have her little comic relief in there from time to time, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun getting to bring all that comedy to her.
What other movies have you done that maybe movies or TV shows that may be similar to this or to Heather's character?
Oh gosh,
have you had any?
Heather's character, I would say. I mean, on One Day at a Time, that's a Netflix series that I got to do. Norman Lear producing it. When that's incredible. If you guys haven't seen that, I definitely recommend it. But I definitely play like a privileged, waspy girl who she's different than Heather, but she's just very optimistic and very, sees the best in things and is just unaware of how out of touch she is. and so that's a lot of fun. She's really fun. And then on Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, I got to do a really fun guest star in that, where I played like this queen bee of this Pilates, these hotties for Pilates.
Hotties for Pilates, that just sounds
right.
That was like one of my favorite characters that I got to play, and me and Kristen Ritter got to fight and have a little rivalry going on, but they're all different shades of the same type of person and character.
That's cool. Yeah, but so I mentioned earlier in the intro that Heather is finally letting Ella be Ella.
Yeah.
And I think it was they had the guest host, Janet Mock, who is a transgender woman.
Yes.
And it was like Heather had all these questions, and it seemed on the outside, because no one really knew about Brad Jr., that she was just being herself, judgmental and things like that. And then at the end of it, she's exposed as Brad Jr. is transgender. But she took a lot of flack first, while exposing it. How do you feel like you would have handled that situation if that was your real life situation? Like, you had a child transgender, you were curious about it, and so here's your opportunity to ask someone about it, but you're still not revealing why you had those questions.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would handle it similar to Heather. I mean, I absolutely, as a parent, I love my daughter more than anything in the world, and all you want is for your kid to be happy and live a life that's easy and full of love. And for me, that's all I want for her, and whatever she wants to be or do, I hope that I can and will support her to the best of my abilities and encourage her. And doing research into what it's like for parents of a transgender child, it's very challenging. And even for parents that want to 100% support and love their child, it's a challenge for them for many different reasons. So for Heather, she is in the public eye, and she's trying to protect her daughter, Ella, and she's also trying to, but she believes that this is what God wanted for her daughter, and she wants to support her and help her do it, but she doesn't know how. And so when Janet comes into her world, and she gets to actually for the first time meet a transgender woman, and is like, wow, wait, she's happy, and that gives her hope that her own child can be happy and have a fulfilled life and get married and have her dreams come true. Speaking with different parents of transgender children, that's a fear of theirs, or friends of mine who've had siblings. It's like there's a sense of loss, because you're like, I love this person so much, and I want them to have their dreams come true and have the same things that I have. And so that was a great moment for Heather when she has that realization when Janet comes in. And Janet, by the way, is, getting to work with her was just a dream. She is so intelligent and so well spoken and so classy, and she's brilliant. And her book, she's written 2 books, but the book that we talk about on the show, Redefining Realness, is that's her real book.
Oh wow,
that's her book, and it's so, I highly recommend it. I think everyone should read it. It is such a great book. But so when Janet comes in and Heather meets her, and she sees that, wow, my daughter can have this life, I think it's just this wonderful moment. And yes, she does bombard Janet with all these questions, and the other co-hosts think, oh, Heather's being manipulative, and there were people on Twitter, because I love to live tweet, and we were tweeting that night. People on Twitter were getting very upset and be like, well, Heather, just leave her alone, stop bothering her, what are you doing, you're a terrible person. But then you see that it was just her way of trying to understand.
And that's what I kind of got out of it. That's why I felt like she was asking those questions, because of Ella. She was just she was intrigued, and oh, well, like you just said, she realized that it can happen. You can live your life and your best life. Yeah. So I don't know. little Twitter people would take it that way.
Oh, I didn't
Because Twitter people
understand.
do that.
But then by the end they're like, oh, I get it,
Yeah.
I see, and you know what, I love that they were jumping to Janet's defense and
That's
getting
nice
that
too,
passionate and excited. That's one of the benefits of getting to watch live on Twitter.
What I would say, what I love about Heather and the fact that she is Christian, but it's not in a hypocritical way, and the fact that early in the season you're like, if you like my child, this is our child. God made him exactly the way he was supposed to be made, and that's what I found amazing. Because some Christians, when they're like real Christians or practicing Christians, they can be very hypocritical, double standardy, and so that's what I loved about your character. It was just like, you're still a mom at the end of the day, and all I want is for my child to be happy. God made him exactly the way he's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was amazing to see.
Right.
And I wanted to applaud it. I was just like, yes.
Yeah, we have some phenomenal writers. I mean, the creators, Amy and Wendy, they're just such fantastic women, and they've done such a great job with this. And our showrunners, Chris and Mike, are brilliant. And then our team of writers, like, they give us so much, and to get to play a woman who's Christian, but she's not the villain, and it's so interesting because I've read on some sites, and they're like, oh, of course the Christian woman is being portrayed as this horrible person, or she's a hypocrite, or she's a monster, and I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I'm not trying to play her that way.
Right.
My father was a minister in the Episcopal Church, and I was taught with religion and Christianity, it's all about accepting people and loving people and not judging them. That's not my job to judge you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's so many of my best friends are Christian, and they're not into judging people, or they're very accepting, loving people. I mean, that's the whole basis of the religion.
Right.
And then but then you do have people that take it and twist it. But I really hope with Heather, I mean, that's part of why I really try not to make her a caricature, so that people who are religious, maybe it will help them to understand or listen, because I feel like if I'm attacking Christianity, then that's just gonna it's gonna turn people away and immediately get defensive, and that's not what I want.
Well, I think you're doing a good job with Heather, balancing the two. You're welcome with the Christianity and still being open about the fact that she has a transgender child. Yeah, I think you're balancing that.
Really well.
Yeah, very well. But I want to go get into a little bit of drama, and maybe you can give us, I don't know, any little sneak peeks or tidbits or some little tea or something. But I want to talk about Nina and Sean. I mean, last week we saw it went left. Okay, they completely broke up, but I just didn't think it would go left so fast. Like, they're talking lawyers and custody and all these crazy things, and like, so that they were on the show, and Nina starts talking about custody. Women, mothers get the custody first and things like that, and then Sean's just looking, I think he picked up on it a little bit, but like not really, and then Maxine jumped in, Maxine was like,
I see what's happening,
hold on now. Right, she's like, well, doesn't the father get, like, that scene I really liked, like seeing them, like that drama. I'm like, oh, already? But any little like maybe tidbits or like behind the scenes things you can give us, like during that scene when that was going on?
During that one, or just
kind of like their dynamic, Nina and Sean's just period with this episode.
Well, what's so fun about them is both, Camille is just a firecracker. Like, she is one of my favorite people. We got introduced before we went out to Atlanta, and then we ended up moving out to Atlanta together, like finding apartments in the same building, and like just being there for each other. And she's like, she became one of my really good friends, and I love her. And
she's a good spirit. She was here last week.
Yeah, she's fun, and she is she's such a talented actress. And then you have McKinley, who's just such a sweetheart, and he's talented too. And then the two of them are just like fiery, so it's so much fun watching them work.
I was gonna say they're really fun to watch.
Like, they and also, I mean, like, we shot such an intense shooting schedule, you guys, that we had like a lot of double days where we'd be off shooting my stuff, and then they'd be off shooting their stuff. So it's really fun getting to watch the episode, because I see stuff that I'm seeing for the first time now. And also when we're shooting, I don't really get to see necessarily what people are doing until we see the episode, because I don't see the comment. Like, if I'm facing the audience and doing my scene up on on the diva stage, I'm not seeing the little eye rolls and things, like catching that stuff. So it's actually the first time I'm getting to see a lot of it, and it's fun.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, so you get to experience it like again, and then new things, so it surprises you too.
I know we're on Nina and Sean, but I have a question, because I wrote it down. So Heather is like reaching out. Is it because you want to touch her hair?
Oh yeah.
So like I was like, the touching black hair. That's seriously what I wrote down, because I was just like, can I touch it? Like, no.
Right.
Don't touch, don't,
And then when they kind of got a little comfortable, she still like went for it
Yeah,
again. Like,
she
no,
slapped.
right? Sometimes still not okay.
Yeah.
don't touch our hair. We do not like it.
So
I thought
if I touched your hair, it'd be awkward right
I
now.
thought that was so
Right.
cute. I mean, now if we did it, I wouldn't care as much, but it was just like super funny. It's like, you know,
It's a real thing.
it's a real
though.
thing in
It's
our
a real
community.
thing.
Like, where people actually just want to touch your hair, and it's just, you're just like, no.
Yeah,
why?
especially for me, I go in between both, like a natural and then a straight. So I was at work, and then I wore my hair natural, and then this guy was like, "Can I touch it?" No, you don't touch a black woman's hair. I answered my own question. I was like, okay.
You don't.
know.
You don't do it. It's just things we don't like.
Well, that's the fun thing about Heather is she's a little like I get to kind of play up that sort of removed, unknowing character. And like there was a line that I threw in. I wanted to like the sweet potato line, how we're all eating sweet potato pie.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
have a
And I was
bell
like,
potato.
well, Heather has to say then she loves the pumpkin pie because that's like
Yeah.
another thing where just playing that like kind of out of touch
Right.
white woman. She's not trying to be offensive. She just often ends up with her foot in her mouth.
Right. Some good pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I was like, and I laughed during that part. Because I got it. Like, oh, she's so cute.
But I had to explain the touching the hair joke to somebody when I was
wow,
watching the
really?
episode with them, and they didn't get that. Like, I was like, no, it's like a thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
It's a. They
It's
must
a
never done
real
it before. That's
thing.
probably why they don't get it. Like you only
Yeah,
get it
man.
unless you've probably done it or somebody has told you about it.
Yeah.
Because if you've never experienced it yourself, it's like it's not in your realm to understand why wouldn't they want. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
Why
It's
wouldn't
like,
you?
why you-
Why wouldn't you want us to? It's mine. Also, at the same time, don't do it.
Yeah. It's awkward. It's just awkward.
That too, and they get in there like the Reese's.
Who?
Wait,
Girl.
they fully put their hand in and like try to-
somebody tried that once, and I was like, I need you to get your hands away.
Right? I'm like, how does someone get that close?
I'm like, I mean, like
like,
really
they
in
were trying
there?
to figure out if my hair was tracks or not.
Oh.
First of all, I don't do weave. I'm not a weave person. I just prefer my hair straight and by itself. So I'm like, you can pat my hair. That's how you can also tell. Like, you don't need to get fingers in. There's no right.
Wow.
I'm like, no. Stay away.
I'm not a dog. I'm not a pet. I'm not a
Right?
toy. I'm a person.
That is not what's happening here.
Yeah.
So I was like, never again will anybody ever get that close to my hair unless you actually the hairstylist.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I like that they kind of threw that in there too. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's a real thing.
That's a real reaction too, and like I love how you actually tried to go back in for it again.
Okay.
That was awesome.
They bonded for a second, so why
yeah,
not?
it's
She
like,
thinks
yeah,
it's okay
no,
now.
it's okay.
No, stop.
Never. Okay.
Yeah.
And can we talk about Patti LaBelle for a second? Her like passing the sweet potato pie because I don't know if that was a plug. That was a plug
That was
if
a
I ever
plug.
seen.
Like, I feel like
that was a plug if I ever saw one.
But you have to.
You have to. You have to. And it was like, you
Yes.
must have been living under a rock if you didn't realize that was a plug. Especially like, what was that, last year with the whole pies and the Walmart craze? Like, yeah.
Oh, everyone was tweeting about
Yes.
it. They're like, way to go. And
Yeah.
yeah, she was a great.
Yeah.
She was
She
so
was
great.
best.
She was being
star.
such a mom. She was being such a mom.
No,
she was like,
no,
'cause
this
she,
is
I was just like, she
Yeah.
was stressing me out. I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, leave him alone.
Right.
no. What got me was I wrote it down. I'm doing Amy right now. She was like, "You better not give me the cheap seats."
Oh, I know.
Right.
I was like, "Jump pin."
Well, okay.
Yes.
I love when she's like, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. I was like, I mean, because honestly, who doesn't want to go on a show and
Right,
get a free
get
car?
something,
Because I do.
right?
I mean,
No, you gotta pay them taxes, and that's like they don't
know.
think
That's
they don't
okay.
tell you.
True, but that's still cheaper than the whole car. Paying for a whole car.
That is true.
Yeah.
But who got $7,000?
You're right. Anyway, but
Just
try to go on
saying.
another show and win something else. Maybe pay for it that way.
Smart, actually. That's a good idea.
double up.
Strategy.
Show to show to show.
Yeah, to show.
That's a great strategy. Go to Let's Make a Deal and then go to Prices Right after. I think it's like it's the same.
whole
I
life
would love
would
to
be
be.
paid for.
I would love to be on a game show. I think it would
Yeah.
be so much fun.
Yeah.
I get really nervous though, and I'd probably be terrible. But
No, you wouldn't. I think it would like kick in. Like you would have some like little competitiveness or whatever, if that's the word, kick in, and you would like love it.
I would love
think
she
you
be
would
on
do good
Pyramid. I
for
think
it.
she'd be good on Pyramid
I haven't seen
because they brought it back.
Okay. I haven't seen
Never seen
Pyramid. I'm just like, I'm gonna let that one go. But yeah, but back to Miss Patti.
Yes, Miss Patty.
Like
she,
I said,
she was just spilling tea.
Yeah, oh my gosh, all the tea. And being such a mom, because I was like, I didn't notice the moment that she noticed it, if it was before them being backstage or if it was when she was backstage, if that was the moment when she kind of noticed something.
It was when she was walking up that.
Yeah, she was walking away from them backstage and she saw them.
Comment about the mother. Oh, wait, but can we also talk about the moment when she's putting the muffins in the Tupperware?
Oh, that was
just like, oh, and put that,
they gonna throw this away.
She got jammed, and the jam was open.
I was thinking that would probably be me if I knew that. Like if I went somewhere one day, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna throw all this away." What? I'm come with all my Tupperware.
Pass it out, Skid Row.
Oh man,
that would be the nice thing to do. I would probably
notice how she did not. Notice how she was gonna take it home with her. She wasn't gonna give it out to the people who really need it. Though. Yeah. Let that be said today.
I see the difference in you two. But I see it in me too, because I was like, I'll bring that stuff home.
Right. She's like, I'm doing the same thing.
Oh. No, I've done that before.
Don't make us feel bad, Chae.
I've done that before because I do catering sometimes, so they throw away so much food. I'm just like, no, give me what I can take, and I'll go to Hollywood. I'll just start dropping things off. That's paving the way.
Wonderful.
Karma's great. Okay, we all need good karma in our lives, and
we do need good karma. Speaking of, I think it's a good segue to go into Nina and Her Stalker.
First of all, can we talk about Mr. from Sister? I'm gonna bring him up because he was in Sister, and I was watching it earlier.
Who?
He was a character in Sister.
The
stalker guy from back in the day.
Your memory is like an elephant. It is amazing.
Because every actor on everything. You're like this, this. Yeah.
But it's weird. I'm just like, dude, you got older. I know that. I know it makes no sense because obviously we get older. But I was like, but dude, you got older and you got your receding hairline. It was just he was like a reality
Sister was what, almost 20 years ago, huh? Was it? 15.
15.
We'll just round it to that.
15, 16?
Maybe. Oh, I would say I'd say 20. I agree with you.
Oh, that makes me feel old. Let's go with 15. Get 5 years back.
He did a great job. That was that was a hard part.
And that's how stalkers are. It was a great side effect of when you do have that fame, you do have that person who it's all for you, create your fan pages and always comes to see you, but you unfriend them and you do this, that, and the other.
And then you don't pay attention. Not to say maybe one thing to say, oh hey, thanks, maybe could have calmed him down, but that's why I kind of went into the whole karma thing, because you just want to totally ignore your fans, and then it gets them riled up, and now he's mad because you won't give him any type of attention. I think maybe one little tweet back or something could have.
It's hard, right? Trying to figure out on Twitter. I'll be how much do I?
Yeah, how much do you interact?
What do I say? How much do I respond? Because it's, I really love responding to fans on Twitter. It's really fun, and it's so cool to see what they are excited about. But then sometimes you're like, I don't want to create too much of a connection, because then I'm afraid that then they're gonna take it to the next level.
Yeah,
you don't know.
You do have to be careful.
It's definitely a fine line, and it's scary.
Yeah, Gary was definitely scary. He pulled out those pictures.
Yeah,
I want to take pictures like this,
the
in
Photoshop
Hawaii, and all those Photoshop pictures.
Scuba diving.
Right?
You're not crazy, darling. When were we in Paris? When was my hands like this?
That was a good Photoshop.
That was a great photo. That was like Titanic. That was on the edge of the ship.
That was a great photo. I'm gonna give you props for your Photoshop skills. However, dude, though, scuba diving pictures were everything in life, though. I have to say.
I thought that too. I was
she looked great in that
good
picture.
One.
Yeah, it's ooh, she's skinny there. I'll be happy.
Got you at a good angle. No.
Right? How are you doing it?
I had that thought too.
But I also like that within that incident, him getting her on the elevator. Yeah, being super crazy, trapping her on the elevator, and then she's saved by Sean and runs into his arms. It's perfect, because I like them as a couple.
I do too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want the writers to drag it out too long for them being mad at each other, and especially how the episode started with them going back and forth with the lawyers and the custody and everything. So I'm glad that they had that moment to kind of connect back. And even though they're not fully back, they're well, what are we? Still working on it. But that was a happy moment for me to see them.
And I like that the writers do stuff quickly like that, because I think that stuff can escalate very quickly, and it, especially with matters with the kids and custody and things like that, and people can really it can go very fast. And so I love that, and I like that it shows how, like, it's not simple and it is complicated, and, you know, he is reacting and upset about things that a normal person would be upset about. And, you know, he feels betrayed, or he's like, who is this woman that I really thought I loved? And I like that.
Yeah, because earlier when they were going back and forth, Nina and Sean, when they were arguing, and Nina's like, well, I'll give you my word. You're not going to be a weekend dad. You'll be involved. And he's like, well, we both know your word doesn't mean anything. And
which was very, first of all, it's a low blow.
Jabs, yes.
And second of all, I want to be like, I legit, we keep talking about this. Dude, get over it. She, like, I'm sorry. It, like... It's out. It's in the past.
Yeah.
And you put me in a no judgment zone, but then judge me harshly.
Right away.
Like, I'm
you
sorry.
didn't even sleep on it, and then maybe, like, you thought about it, it marinated, and then you got upset. Like, it just went out the door.
You immediately
like,
wanted me to, like, get, like, my credit revoked and my Pulitzer revoked. And, like, my reputation, my job would be gone.
Right.
I'm going to be a homeless mother. Like, I might be living with you, but I'm going to be a homeless mother. I'm just saying, though, like, I'm like, I need you to take a breath, Sean, for, like, 2 seconds. But, like, Nina was a little kind of vicious for, like, being like,
You really
I'm gonna
like
be
Nina.
I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be the primary, you know, custody holder, and I'm just gonna be like, what, like,
yeah,
they don't compute for me. Like, I was just like, what you mean?
Yeah.
I was confused.
And Maxine wasn't gonna play that either.
Oh, she wasn't playing them games.
She's fierce. She's like,
not my grandbaby.
She's like, even though we were bonding, though, grandbaby trumps you, though. You know what I mean? So
it will always be that
yes.
for Maxine, too.
I mean, she's getting a couch for that grandbaby.
Right?
A vomit-proof couch.
So right? I don't know if this is wrong, but I thought maybe she was doing that for Kibby at first. I don't know why. She was like, I was like, well, vomit ride for Kibby? Like, I don't know. That's where my mind went. And then she started talking about the baby. I'm like, oh, yeah, the baby. Makes sense.
So cute. So cute.
Yeah. Oh, I hope they
continue this.
Yeah. Will we, like, have the baby by the end of the season?
Oh, you'll have to tune in to see.
I thought I could sneak something.
I don't think that she's big enough to be having a baby in the next couple episodes.
Yeah, true. I mean, they could, like, fast forward a few months.
We could do a big time jump. We could do a flashback. Who knows?
We have to wait and see. Fine, Fiona.
I'm not gonna tell you. I want you to watch it.
Okay, fine, we'll watch it. But the detective.
Oh, he was all in
there.
it.
We can't not talk about that. Like, he just pops up wherever. No, well, first Maxine popped up on him, actually. Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, oh my gosh.
She won't touch him. She's like, I don't eat carbs.
I don't touch carbs.
Literally. Like, I was like, I love that line.
Like, don't do bagels. Don't pass some toys.
Yeah.
And then just tried to tell him basically everything that happened. And in a way, like, you already know what happened. What I said happened, that's what happened. You know?
That's the story. That's the story I'm sticking to. I will not be changing that anytime soon, no matter what you've heard.
Exactly. Or what you think you discover. So that's that. But then she invites him to the show, and then he comes at the worst time.
I know. I mean, gosh. And then that's why you're getting all upset with Patty LaBelle, and you're just like, you're creating problems for them. Come on, stop it.
Like, shh, be quiet.
Yeah.
No, who was creating for problems was Miss Gloria letting it tell it. Like, I want her to be like, Mom, stop talking right now. There's a detective here. He don't need to know if I am or not dating Maxine Robinson at this point. And obviously can't be like, he is like, he's a person of interest.
Yeah.
He can't say that to his mom.
Right.
She might just hit him because she Patty LaBelle, and I would legit think Mama Gloria. I think Mama Gloria would have that reaction. She's going to either hit William or she's going to hit the detective.
She would hit somebody.
Like, who do you think you're talking about, baby? Bam. I really think that was going to happen. I can just like picture it in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
But I love her.
But yeah.
But like, I want to be like,
quiet. She is spilling too much.
She's doing a good job because she's stressing us out.
Yeah, true. Very true.
You know?
Yes, because I was very stressed. Like, be quiet. And then, so it's like the cat's out the bag. And then the detective is like, oh, well, just the other day you didn't know his name.
Yeah.
So now it's like, oh, it looks like she's getting caught up in a lie.
Yeah.
But she is so...
She handled like a pro.
Oh, my gosh. I love Maxine. I love Vanessa Williams in this character.
I mean,
she is...
it's so much fun to watch her.
Yes.
Like, she has such great comedic timing. Like, she gets comedy so well. And she's so powerful. Like, she has so much strength, and she's just can be very direct and just be like da 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 da, and you're just like, oh, like I would just watch her on set, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to learn so much from you because you are a strong, powerful woman, and you do it with such she does it so effortlessly and so simply, and I think it's one day I want to play a role like that.
For a second, I legit thought she was like, I'm dating Selena Gomez, and I was like, what? Like, no, for real. She was like, me. I was like,
I love all the Oprah blows because, you know,
Yes,
like
they
all
come
such
from
big
Oprah.
fans of Oprah. And we actually got to go to visit Oprah Magazine in New York. We were doing press for the
that's
show.
cool.
And I mean, we're all just like, Oprah. So it's a good thing that she has such a great sense of humor. I love that.
That's good because that was major shade thrown. Like, oh, are you dating Stedman?
Oh, it's from
Oh,
the
no,
whole season.
I'm not dating Stedman. Neither is Oprah. I was like,
the shade.
okay.
I love it.
I love Janet threw that in. She's like, the shade.
Right?
Yes, it's real.
I feel like we said that at the same time. I was like, oh, the shade. And, yep, perfect timing for everything. Like, those writers are amazing. Yeah, like when they can kind of relate and you feel like you're relating to that character at that moment. Like, that's what I would say because I said it. Like, you know what I mean?
Because I said it.
Because I said it. But she was amazing in that part, just owning it and like, well, we are together now, and it's just only been a few months. We've known each other for forever. It's just to kind of weigh out that doubt that the detective has probably put in his mind. I've known you for a while, but just recently we've gotten closer.
It shows you that she's always, her wheels are always turning, and that she's very smart and like, I feel like manipulative is the wrong word, but she's
cunning.
You know, cunning. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cunning. She's cunning.
Yeah. She's really good
like because they've known because we find out later in the episode a little bit they've known each other for like 11 plus years, like and so the affair was happening even while she's with Ted. That little snippet in there, I was just like,
Ted does not seem like a very good guy.
Ted,
he's
not.
I was like, William, I think William.
He stole his son's money.
Yeah.
He stole his nephew's son's money. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
Chae, I can't stand you. His nephew's son.
Nephew's son.
Well, wait, no.
I
Because,
like that's true though. It is his
it's true
nephew's
because
son.
Max.
Well, true. Like,
Because Maxine, like that was the nephew, and then Maxine
and
is
then
the one that adopted him.
Yeah.
I'm correct.
Okay, right. You're right. It just sounds funny when you
It
said
sounds so funny.
But yeah, so we got to see a little bit what happened.
Hey Amy, we love
Oh, hey Amy.
Wait, what?
you. She has her own
co-host,
questions.
Amy.
Our co-host, she couldn't be here today, but she's weighing in. So,
Hi.
what are you hoping for Heather's future? I got you. I got your back.
What am I hoping for Heather's future? Well, a few things. One, I want to see her continue with Ella's transformation and really helping her with that and just learning about all of that stuff. And then I'm one thing that I've always loved about Heather that some people get really upset about, but I think it's so fascinating. Characters in the contradiction, and we're all hypocrites in real life, like we are. And I love that she has a problem with homosexuality, like she believes that's a choice, and yet she believes that transgender
You're born
transgender. And so I would really like to see her. Not only I mean, we've talked with Janet Mock about how we would love to have her back and work with her more and exploring that subject matter, but also and we started to a little bit, but I want to explore Heather's views on homosexuality and possibly see if she has some growth there and understanding and compassion. And I think that's kind of and then maybe she'll get back together with Brad, maybe she won't, maybe she'll get a hot new beau.
More spankings.
A hot new beau. Brad
more
can
spankings.
go.
Yeah, more spankings or some more fun.
Which is Shay's favorite part, which we know.
Oh, Chae.
Chae loves
I mean, she just needs a hot guy to make out with her, or a hot woman. I mean, she got to do both of them a couple episodes back. So.
Right.
Our favorite was seriously when you were with the pastor. And like you kissed him, like that was your favorite part. She was like, you slapped him, and he's like, and damn you for being so attractive.
Right?
I improvised that. I slapped him twice. Yeah,
awesome. Because like we were like,
yay. And then and hello guys. The most important thing for Heather, she has to finish her song for God's sake. Okay. We recorded that whole song.
Really?
And we're actually, you guys, we want to make a music video. Like, me and the showrunners were like, we have to make a music video.
Amy said no to Brad.
No to Brad.
I thought you said no to the song. Like,
no to Brad.
Don't finish
Amy's
the song.
like throwing it. She's weighing in her option right now. She's like,
I
giving her
said no to
2
Brad
cents.
as well.
I say, I mean, he's hot to look at. I will definitely give him that.
Maybe Matt Damon will come in and
Woo!
do a little guest star.
Let's get Matt Damon. Can I
Shirts
come
off
on
always. Can we visit?
Can we visit the set that day?
We always try to get Matt Damon on Wilfred. Like, there's always those little Matt Damon references. And I was like, if you guys want to bring Matt Damon on the show and Jenna has a love affair, I'll totally do it, I guess. We'll take one for the team. But,
yeah, you guys should keep doing that. Maybe he'll come.
Keep fighting for
on
it.
every show I ever do. What about Matt Damon, guys?
We would seriously love to visit
It's gonna
Atlanta.
work one day.
One day.
Writers. we're pitching to you. Here, our call.
Write this down. It's gold.
Oh, we've had a whole bunch of sessions like where we talked to the writers.
Yes, we're looking
own
like
plot
writers.
lines.
Do this, do that, do this.
Our own
Yes,
theories.
Pick up on that.
Now, like, my theory is wrong about who killed Ted. Like, it looks like maybe Sean killed Ted.
Yeah, mine is wrong as well because I thought maybe William had something to do with it, but yes.
I think William covered it up. However,
We think Sean's the one who did it.
because he didn't feel guilty about whatever happened.
Yeah,
so.
because yes, Maxine said that. Like, what did she say? You don't have to feel guilty about it. Oh, it wasn't your fault. I'm pulling at Amy as well. She's like, it wasn't your fault. And Sean was like, I know, and I don't feel guilty about it.
It was another kind of Matt Damon reference, though, guys, with Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting.
Oh, yeah.
It's not your fault.
Oh, yeah, I missed that one.
You haven't seen Good Will Hunting?
No, and I was just about to say, and I've recently rewatched it because I've seen it before, and I recently rewatched it, and I missed that. Like, it just kind of went over my head.
That's okay. It was
Literally,
it was
like 2
little
months ago, I
obtuse,
just
like-
watched it.
I did too. It
Yeah.
was on TV the other day. Such a great movie. But yeah, I'm very curious. I love watching you two get into it here,
Yeah.
trying to figure out who killed him.
Because like now it's like, oh, okay, and they actually show the little flashback, Sean being angry with him, getting physical with him
Because he
with
stole
Ted.
his money. Like,
Yeah.
I play ball. I think money is never going to be won.
Oh no, yeah, I would be upset too. But we just see a kind of a different side of Sean.
Yeah, because like
So-
even in the previous flashback, he wasn't nowhere to be found. You
Right.
saw Maxine just come towards him, so like that's like a nice little twist of perception.
And you see, like, with the story that she's giving, clearly she is trying to protect Sean because she's like, oh, the last time they saw him was at the restaurant. And then that was that. But they were both at the apartment.
Before midnight.
What if it's Heather?
Did Heather even know Maxine then?
You started with such a straight face with that, too. Like, what if it's... I was drawn in. It's like, oh, what are you going to say?
I'm not going to tell you who it is or what happened. I'm not giving those good details away.
I love
it's
Drunk
fun
Heather
watching
though.
you two.
Drunk Heather is fun.
Oh my god.
I love how you came in. You kind of became a mom at the party. Like you're just like, no, we're gonna do this
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I'm gonna
She's
show
so
you how
bossy.
everything's.
Yeah, it was like the mom and then also the little like
Alpha
designer
woman.
cook of her.
Like Martha Stewart. She's like, oh
she
my
has
gosh,
that
we're
in
going to
her,
go east to west. We can't be, I mean, what are you doing?
This is
Serving
all over the place.
Charcuterie and sliders and sushi? This is just a disaster. And then she's
Yeah,
so
she whipped them
ridiculous.
up.
Don't you find me
Got
attractive?
them together.
I'm attractive, right?
Oh,
And then
little Julian.
he's like, I don't know what he says to her, and then she's like, oh my god, Ramona, you saw that. He was hitting on me.
Right?
And then she's like,
Yeah, sure. We talked about this. Poor little Ramona. She just wants to fit in with anything. Like, oh yeah, I saw
Sarah
that.
Mack, who plays Ramona, is amazing. She is
Yeah.
so funny. She is such a gem. Like, we all love her so much.
I
like,
loved her in this episode.
Oh my god,
She got to like
it's the best
produce a
thing
show.
in my life when she gets the flowers.
She was like, oh yeah, that part.
Oh my god, she's so funny. She's
But also, yeah, when
Love
Sean
her.
was dealing with Nina in the elevator, she's like, don't worry, Sean, I got it. I've got the show. I'm like,
And then like she
You
turns to
go,
the guy, she's
Ramona.
like,
She's
a little diva
Sean is dealing with
Yeah,
something.
she is.
Sean's dealing with something. I know what I'm doing. Do what I
Right?
say.
Yeah.
Like it was
Like-
you take charge.
yeah,
Okay.
took control.
Control. Oh, sorry, I had to.
That was a good song, though. See, we went back to it. Good song choice.
tried.
Well, since Heather won't really give us any details about what's coming up next,
I can't.
fine. But no. So we'll see. Mo is coming back next week.
Finally.
I'm excited about that.
I know, Tichina Arnold. It was like a
Yes.
Mexican standoff with the heels, like portion of like the
Oh, yeah.
promo.
Yeah.
High heels at high
Noon.
noon.
Right?
Camille. You guys, Tichina Arnold is just, I mean, I can't with how much I love her.
Yeah.
She is so funny, and she, like, someone said this once, I'm like, that's so true. It's like, there's people who can say a line funny, and then there's people that can, make any line funny. And then there's people that can just say really funny things, and she can do both of those. I mean, she just, and we would do a take, and every time she would do it, there's a scene coming up at a, oh god, I can't remember the word for it. Metal detector. And every take she would do something different. Every single one. And it was hilarious, and she's fantastic.
That's good, because that's hard to do, to kind of like redo a scene and come up with something different every time that's gonna stick and land every time. That'll still be
Yeah.
funny.
And she's so smart. And just,
Oh, I wish we could get her on here too.
I'm working.
oh, I love her.
You can, like,
Fiona, you and Camille have to both work on like getting like as many of you guys as you can for the finale.
I know, I'm
August
having
10th
so
is
much
the finale.
fun.
Yeah.
It was just awesome.
Diva
funny because-
reunion.
Yes.
Diva reunion. I love that.
Oh,
That's how we should
that'd be
title
cute.
it. Like title it.
That's what we should
Copyright.
do.
I was like awesome because like episode 10, and it also like airs on like our show's August 10th. So episode 10 for
Oh
10.
yeah, that's gonna be
Oh.
yeah, that's
It's
the
meant
finale
to be,
show.
you guys.
Yes, it's meant,
Meant
to
to
be.
be.
We're gonna get everyone in here hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Well, we're gonna have to get a bigger room though, guys.
Okay, we'll work it out.
We'll work it out. Let's not
But-
forget Kibby though. This like she's dealing with her own little thing that happened with her
Oh, yes.
Lacey over Spacey TV dad.
Yeah.
So I'm either she did something with him that she really didn't want to do, or he overstepped his bounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the feeling I'm getting. Like
Yeah, I think
a
it's
very traumatic vibe.
Yes, I think it's something where he may have overstepped because she was young. She's only 24 now, and so that was a few years ago. So she was young, possibly underage. So I'm feeling like that's the vibe. Yeah, like she was like, "Don't come here," and then she rips up the letter from the flowers that he sent because he actually did cancel on the show appearance. But yeah, it's just very. It just seems very dark and very like a lot of pain when she talks about him, you know, and says, "Don't come back, don't come here. I don't want to see you again." So. Yeah, I think it's more so him overstepping his boundary with her.
She's a great actress, and it's been so much fun watching her.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is so talented on the show. I really like. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen.
love
But
to
yeah,
do
that
it.
storyline, the storyline that's coming up that you're talking about, it's a really powerful one, and I'm really, again, that's one of the things I love about the show is that they don't shy away from important subject matters, and the show is about 5 strong women, and it's about empowering women in certain situations. And I just, so I'm excited to hear what you guys think about that storyline.
Yeah.
Ashley in the chat, she sorry,
No, go ahead.
Ashley in the chat, she said that she loved this episode because it showed the difference between transphobic and trans ignorant.
Right. And
That's a
made
very
good
big
point for
difference.
that.
It's a very good point.
That's actually one of my favorite lines in the episode is when Janet's like, we have, like, she's talking about, we have to talk about things. And because if you're too afraid to talk about things, then nothing will ever get talked about at that point. And then she's like, mistakes are going to happen. And then, it's okay to be trans, it's okay to be trans ignorant. It's not okay to be transphobic. And that's true. And I think that's such an important statement, both of those things about all issues. When it comes to race, when it comes to religion, when it comes to homosexuality, transgender. I mean, there's so many, like, people are afraid to talk because we don't want to offend anybody or we don't want to make a mistake. And that was actually there was a line that we had to fight in there because I wanted to say, and we ended up getting in the episode, when I say Ella's, I say trans. And that's actually that's like an offensive term.
Okay.
We would say Ella's trans, but we had to fight to get that in there. But it was really important because I think that, like, Heather she still doesn't know how to say these things.
So it's like
she's gonna say it wrong, and that's and again, like, these mistakes and missteps she makes give us the opportunity to educate and inform people and to show people that with Janet's grace and loveliness, like, she's showing people that we should talk and allow people to make those mistakes and then start a conversation.
Right, exactly.
So it's
yeah, I think it showed it for on both sides. For Janet's sides, for her not to get too offended because knowing that, okay, well, maybe Heather isn't really coming from a bad place. So I'll give her, we'll talk about it more. I'll give her another chance, and okay, you know what I mean? So it's like you get to see, like, okay, well, they weren't too offended. So maybe someone transgender person may be watching, and maybe they have someone like that in their life asking them questions and things like that. Maybe it'll make them more open to maybe confront them, like, we can talk about this if you don't know it, what's really going on. Let's just more so talk about it. Let's be open. I won't be offended if you want to ask me some things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe, like, just don't cross the line with me. But
it's all about intention.
It can help open the door for the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, Janet, she did such a great job. She's such a wonderful
She
actress.
looks flawless.
And she really, she had tears in her eyes when I made the comment, oh no, I'm a real girl. Like, when I said that, like, she was so deeply affected. It broke my heart. Like, I felt so, it was so easy to act with her.
Yeah.
And she did such a lovely job there. And, I just think that's one of, like, the most important messages of the episode is, like, to not be afraid to make those mistakes, but to ask questions and to,
Right.
it's all, about intention. And
Yeah.
And you and Kitty made up, which is awesome.
Right, yeah.
She gives me the hair clip for Ella.
I know, and that was so sweet.
Such a beautiful scene.
It's like, now give me a hug, whore. Like,
I know.
Kibby has to be Kibby.
Yeah.
But that was very, very sweet to say, because, and I think Kibby also realized, like, that was huge for Heather to come out, because not only did she, reveal that to Janet, but all the other women were around at the time. And she didn't shy away from, like, you know what, yes, Brad Jr., yes, he is Ella. He is, she now. I have a daughter. I have 2 daughters now. And so I think Kibby realized that was a big step for her, and she wanted to do something and reach out. And they do have a nice relationship. They have their back and forth, but they don't hate each other.
Well, yeah, 2 things about that. One thing that was really important to Star was that even though we're all divas and we're all competitive, type A driven women, she's like, at the end of the day, as it was for her on The View, at the end of the day, we are all women supporting women. And that she didn't want this to be about women tearing each other down. And so, yes, we fight sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're a family. And families fight. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you love each other. And I think that's a really great message of the show is, like, like you said, like, we make up, we got each other's backs. The other thing I wanted to bring up was that, you kind of asked me about this earlier, but in terms of Heather's acceptance of Ella and speaking about it, to the other co-hosts, and, I think that Heather, because she's a celebrity and in the spotlight, she also has to. That means that's like another level of protection she needs to provide for her for Ella, because she is aware of that's just going to be added attention and potentially putting him in the spotlight and getting attacked, or it's just so that's like another layer that she has to be.
I didn't even think about that with Heather from her point of view, the fact that, she is in the spotlight and you have to protect him with that as well.
Yeah, it's not just about from her friends and family and her, her church. She has the world. Yeah. Twitter, I mean, just that poor, the celebrity's child who was just missing recently, and luckily she was found. But it was, so.
That was crazy, yeah.
And now you're going to be teach your kids at home, long division. Your face for that was awesome.
That was classic. She's like, Mommy, now you can teach me long division. Okay.
Yeah. Heather's F. She would say it. Oh, fudge.
Well, thank you, Fiona, so much for being here. This was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are
Here we go.
Just about.
I said we got like 4-5 minutes.
Oh, well, let's just take advantage of all our time. Scratch that. So.
I want to be here forever.
You can say we have sleepovers. We have a popcorn machine.
Let's say we're going to do you like Gary.
I'm gonna get some popcorn.
There's beer in the back.
Oh, yeah, they got some fresh popcorn being popped just for you, Fiona. She was going to get some, like, nope, that's from yesterday.
I want a popcorn machine. I really want a popcorn machine. Like, how cool would that be to have fresh popcorn all the time?
I can't lie. I want that. I want just a goal for my life to have a popcorn machine.
It is pretty cool, though.
And a movie theater in your house? Come on.
Oh, my God. That is my dream, though. Seriously, that is my dream.
I want the reclining seats. Like, I want to be able to just, like, I want the room. I want the room. Like, I want, like, the rooms, like, for my friends. Like, we have couple nights or something like that. Everybody has their own space and nobody's, like, really over each other.
And then a popcorn machine with movie butter popcorn. Not just, like, regular butter.
When I was shooting last summer in Chicago, when I told you I went to go film, the director of that movie, she had an actual movie theater in her house, like in the basement. And it was so cool. I watched the finale of Game of Thrones down there by myself, and it was just like and that was like the finale of finales, like probably one of the best ever, even though I just couldn't anyways. I love the show so much, but really, let's be real, I want a screening room so I can watch Game of Thrones every week on a big screen.
And by yourself, that was probably amazing.
I was in it.
Oh, man. I would have probably, tried to hide in that person's house somewhere.
I know. I was like,
and be like a squatter. Like,
no, I literally was like, can I move into your house, please?
Kimmy Sylvester says #girl power.
Yes.
Lawrence Falk says #divas.
I love these hashtags.
Amy wants to know, what inspired you to pursue acting?
What inspired me to pursue acting? I just always loved acting. When I was in preschool, the preschool I had was at had dance classes and things like that. So I kind of got into performing that way. And then I like the first play I did, it was Cabbage Patch Kids, and it was kind of like a ballet sort of. Like, I have these pictures, are ridiculous, but it's so cute. And so I always loved it, and I loved playing different characters. And I actually always wanted to do dramatic stuff. I wanted to be a dramatic actress, but I guess there's just something very funny about me trying to be a good actor. So I started working in comedy, not on purpose, but that's what I do.
It fits you, though. It fits you very well, the comedy. But so you've always just kind of been drawn to acting, or was it more so like performing, or kind of you're drawn to performing, or drawn to kind of being able to be play another person.
I was drawn to acting. I always loved it. I like storytelling. Growing up, I would love to watch, like Tim Burton was one of my favorite directors as a kid, and just like kind of being able to escape into that world. Like I still get excited when I walk in a soundstage and I see a set. It doesn't matter. Like I've been doing this for years, and I'm like, oh, like shows.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of a show. Like I geek out over things, and I still love that, and the magic hasn't gone away from me.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
That's great.
Because then you can take that energy into every character that you do. If you're still happy, you're still excited about things like that, you can keep that with you. It shows in all the characters.
You have to be excited and you have to be learning, or else it's boring, and what's the point?
Right.
Let someone else do it.
Yep, true. Well, now I will say thank you for coming.
Yes, we got the wrap up.
It was such a pleasure having you. It was so fun.
Thank you. It was so much fun to be here, and I can't wait to come back for the Divas finale.
Yes. You guys make sure you come back. You guys can catch me on Instagram and on Twitter at LMarieTV. And Miss Fiona, where can I find you?
At Fiona Gubelmann.
And what else do you have going on?
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
That's
Guys, I can't pay attention.
like just zoned out for a second there.
I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm like on Facebook, but I never use it. I'm on TV, on Divas every Monday, Thursday. You guys, today's Thursday. I know. That's like, I should go now. I was like up here and it just like, yeah. Mondays at 10 o'clock on VH1, Daytime Divas. We have 3 more episodes left. Next week is going to be hilarious. You may see some indecent stuff involving Heather again.
What?
And there's going to be a lot more happening with Ella, and there's some really funny and beautiful stuff that comes up.
Can't wait.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. Love Chae Bun on Snapchat. The Carmichael Show on Wednesday, because we only have 4 more episodes of this season. Guys, I'm super sad. And Luwop, the Grant, Kimmy, Sylvester, Amy, Just Me, so many people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. And Luwop, I will ask her the question, and then I'll just find me later and I'll tell you what she said.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us in the chat. And like Fiona said, next episode is going to be so good, so make sure you watch it and then watch us. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.